Hey, Houston, and welcome to the H-town Horseshoe. I am Rebekah Williams, Communication Specialist Supervisor, home of hashtag Proc Nation. This podcast, the H-town Horseshoe, is brought to you by the Mayor's Office of Communications, where we give you the inside scoop on the city's many departments and what's happening here in the city of Houston.
Hello, Houston. I'm Javelle Johnston, Deputy Press Secretary for the Mayor's Office of Communications. And with us today, we have a very special guest, Dr. Lawson of the Houston Public Library. And we are so happy to have you. Please just give us a brief intro about you and
Well, hello to both of you wonderful ladies. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm Rhea Brown Lawson, Director of the Houston Public Library, and we have so much going on at our libraries, but thank you for having me.
Yes. And so kudos to you for the amazing work that you do here in the city. Now, you have a program that's coming up, one of our mayor's babies, his many babies, One Houston, One Book. Talk to us about that, what that looks like, why people should be excited to get engaged.
Sure. One Houston, One Book. Houston is the nation's most diverse city.
Yes, it is.
So as we thought about what we could do to celebrate the mayor's focus on equity and complete communities and making sure inclusivity, One Houston, One Book is a way that the community can come together to have conversations really about diversity. All of the books, there are 3 books. Okay. Although it says 1 book.
Okay.
There are 3 books because we wanted to involve adults, children, and teenagers. And they have different interests.
Got you.
Yeah, so we selected 3 books so that families could be involved, and we could do programs and gatherings all around the city, focused on diversity and community conversations that involve either multi-age groups or tease it out so that there are teens, children, and adult programs.
A little something for everybody.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right.
So can we talk a little bit about how the books were selected and just like what, was there a task force involved in this? Like, tell us a little bit about that.
A committee was formed, and we have professional librarians, as you know, that focus on book selection. So they were pretty knowledgeable about award-winning books, books that represent different cultures, and that's what we were after. Okay. And so those books, the 3 books that we selected in the 3 different age groups were carefully vetted and represent 3 different cultures.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I'm gonna ask, I want to get, what are these books?
Right.
I want to know what books we're reading.
The titles,
the author, that kind of thing.
One is called The Name Jar, and it's by Young Suk Choi, and it's a story about an Asian child who comes to America and goes to school, and everybody's name is quote unquote traditional, and she was embarrassed about her name.
Oh wow!
And so that's all I'm going to tell you.
That little cliffhanger.
Yes, and befriends her and works through the differences in cultures.
Do you know, is this autobiographical or do you know by chance?
It's a story that many have experienced,
Absolutely.
and the author wanted to bring it to light.
Beautiful.
The other is Punching the Air, and that's a novel in verse for teens, and what that means is not just straight. It's not just written in chapters as we're at traditional chapters, but it's in a prose format.
Okay.
And the unique thing about this book, you may remember the 5 young men who were walking through Central Park.
Central Park 5.
The Central Park 5, now called the Exonerated 5.
Yes.
One of them, Yusef Salam, is the author and co-author with Ibi Zoboyi. And the unique thing about this book, just as we were launching One Houston, One Book, Yusef ran for city council in New York and is now a city council person
Oh,
elect.
wow.
Yes, I saw
And
that
he said
headline.
that he is his ancestors' best dream.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you must read that.
Okay.
Absolutely. I'll start that one for
Yes.
Right.
And the other book is Once I Was You, and that's a memoir. So
Okay.
that is a story about the author and her immigration experience.
You know what? I like the fact that it is the books that have been chosen are telling our stories.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it really brings inclusivity to the fact that we're all more alike than we are different.
Commonalities that we
Yeah,
share, yes.
you know what I'm saying? And so that brings that conversation in and the hope, I hope through this process that will the racism, the separation, that will kind of silence some of that because it's bringing us all together. I think this is a beautiful, beautiful concept, and that's how change happens, through great conversation.
Through great conversations,
Yeah.
and there are many opportunities for our community to gather.
Yes,
Right.
I was gonna
And
speak to
and
that.
to have community conversations,
Yes. Right.
and if you have something to spark the conversation, like a book, like a story,
Right.
it brings questions and greater understanding
Yeah.
and more tolerance, and that's the whole emphasis behind One Houston, One Book. Other cities have one book programs. Ours is very unique. I just want to point out one other thing. We want it to be very inclusive. And we know that Houston is the most diverse city in America,
Yes.
but it also has a literacy problem. And 1 in 3 Houstonians are low literate adults. And so we wanted to include low-level readers in One Houston, One Book, so they're really more than 3.
Okay.
So we are partnering with the mayor's office for adult literacy, and they have found books that reflect diversity on a lower adult reading level, and have partnered with the literacy providers across the city, so everybody's reading.
That's great.
Everybody's this, because you can become an adult and can't read.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But if you have a book that you're interested in on a lower level, you can join the conversation, because they're adults with low reading levels, but they are adults and they have
Right.
experience.
Yes.
Yes. So those books, 2 of those books, is The House on Mango Street.
Okay.
If you haven't read it, read it. It's a modern classic, and it's about a story of a Hispanic family who moved into this neighborhood.
Okay.
And I'll just stop there.
I love the
and then from farm worker to astronaut.
Okay.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a bilingual autobiography by a real astronaut,
Okay.
and how he started his life as a farm worker.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said something in there. I do have a question about different nationalities, language barriers. How is Houston Public Libraries kind of combating that? I know we're doing these certain books. So are they translated? Like, are there resources so people that do not speak the English language can be a part and engage?
Not so much in this particular program, but to that point, we teach English as a second language,
Okay.
and have conversation tables for people who want to learn English.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we were very cognizant of there's a lot to gather when we talk in a city like Houston, as
Right.
big as Houston, and with so many nationalities and
Languages.
cultures and
Yeah.
languages, that it's very, very difficult to be that inclusive. But culturally, we focused on the culture. And many times we see in our audiences families that come and they're translating for each other, or the child is interested in a program and they'll come, and sometimes we see the child translating for the
Awesome.
parents.
Awesome.
Yes.
No,
And
I love this program. Is just
Yeah.
truly comprehensive and
Yeah.
like really meeting people where they are, so
Yeah.
they don't feel this hesitance to engage and take part.
Yeah.
Equity is very, very important.
Absolutely.
Inclusivity and belonging
Right.
are really key words when you think of public libraries.
Yeah, and that's like sounds like the pillar of this program.
That's right.
Well, it's about that time.
All right.
We're going to dive into this game that we like to call 520. So we'll ask five questions, Dr. Lawson, and you'll have 20 seconds to answer. And don't
Okay.
worry, I know you're a pro. I know you'll get.
She got it.
You've got this.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to start off with the timer.
Okay.
And you have the first question.
I have the
Rebecca?
first question. You'll let me know when I can go.
Let me start the clock.
All right, Dr. Lawson, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
All right, Rebecca.
Here we go. First question. How many years has the One Houston, One Book program been in existence?
This is our first year.
All right.
What are some benefits of participating in the One Houston, One Book program?
Well, we bring communities together so they can learn about each other and have wonderful conversations and then have some fun while learning about each other.
Awesome. How many upcoming events or activities? It's okay. It's okay. Because
That can't be 20 seconds.
yes, it was.
You know
But it's okay because we have to talk through this. Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's so much good stuff.
Good
Okay.
stuff.
Good stuff.
So where were we?
How many upcoming events or activities are related to One Houston, One Book?
There are 50
Ooh.
in the queue, and a very exciting finale coming in September.
All right.
So stay tuned.
All right.
Oh.
You heard it here first.
Yes.
So, more information. Where can people find out more information about the program?
Everybody can go to HoustonLibrary.org.
Okay. And then how does the One Book, One Houston program contribute culturally enrichment of our community? We have talked it out.
Yes, yes.
How that goes. But I do want to know the dates. So for people, this is a span of time. It's not like a weekend. It's not a week. This is a span of time. So let's talk through the dates of this particular program.
Yes, we launched in May.
Okay.
And it goes through the end of August,
Okay.
culminating to mid-September, culminating in a very special program at the end with a national speaker.
Awesome. Well, we want our invites.
Absolutely.
We will be present. Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Dr.
you,
Lawson.
Dr.
Oh, this has been
Awesome.
awesome. Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. Gifting your time. I know, your time is precious. 'Cause
Yes.
You've got a massive program to run,
Yes.
along with many other initiatives that the Houston Public Library puts on.
Yes.
So we just want to thank you and thank our listeners for tuning in. And again, be sure to tune in on all of our social media platforms to stay in the know about all things happening City of Houston. And until then, we'll see you next time.
And we'll catch you in the horseshoe.
All right.